Hey,
And we're live.
welcome to everybody to our December 8th meeting of the Town of Barnstable's Open Space Committee. First, I must read the notice that this meeting of the Open Space Committee is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with national laws, I must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to please make your presence known. All right, hearing none, I'd like to go through our introductions. My name is Lev Malakoff, I'm the chair, I'm from Centerville.
Dave Goro from Centerville.
Doug Payson from Barnstable Village.
Kate Gulliver from Hyannis.
Ann Rowland from Centerville. Liz Lewis from West Barnstable. Harley Lewis from Hyannis.
Jenny Zeno, Administrative Assistant.
And we have a couple folks in the audience
Bettini
today.
from the planning department.
Yes.
I'm Holly Kuzinski, I'm the property manager for Town of Barnstable.
Okay, thank you, welcome. First on order of business is to approve or discuss the approval of the minutes. We have a couple interim meetings that took place in October, starting with the October 20th minutes. Does anybody have any comments or,
I have to abstain, I wasn't here.
okay?
And you weren't here.
Oh, that's right, we were California, so.
Does that mean we won't have a quorum to vote?
You don't necessarily need to abstain if you read the minutes and approve of them, just because you weren't at the meeting. So if you feel comfortable to do that, you can, or we can wait till the next meeting.
Okay, because we would only have, we'd still have a quorum even if they didn't vote, right?
One,
five,
two,
yeah.
3, 4. Oh, and yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, all right, so you can abstain if you want to.
Okay.
What's up?
I feel better about that.
Make a lot of money.
Okay, and the others,
2,000 gross.
I would entertain a motion
So moved.
Second.
to approve, okay? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And 2 abstentions. And then the next set of meeting minutes is from October 27th. So anything on those that we should know about? And then I would entertain a motion regarding those minutes.
So moved.
Move to approve. In a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Unanimous. Okay, so now we're into the main attraction of our meeting is the open space recreation plan. We recently had public meeting and lots of follow-ups, and Kyle is going to walk us through our next steps.
Sure, all right, thank you, everybody. Hopefully our last kind of nitty-gritty review of the draft plan before it goes off to other bodies for review. So we did have our public meeting on, what was it, the 19th now?
Yeah.
It was pretty well attended, got some good feedback, so I thought that went well. We also had the open public comment period through the 25th, I think it was, so you guys should have received in the meeting materials all the public comment that was received as part of the public comment process. So as town staff, we went through all the public comment and kind of distilled some possible edits, some substantive edits on one document. On another document, we have kind of like typo, housekeeping type of edits, just for your own edification. Doug pointed out a couple of them, which thank you for doing so, Doug. So I just thought we'd go through the possible edits the town staff had, and then see if you guys are comfortable with them. And then if you guys noticed anything that we hadn't pointed out based off of your review of the public comment, please feel free to do so.
Kyle, before we move on to that, I would just like to say, after our meeting, that the consultant said to me that it was one of the best attended public meetings that they've ever held.
Wow.
So the planning department did an exceptional job of getting the word out and getting people at the meeting. And that's a real testament.
Appreciate the credit, but I think that's more you and Chris who got the word out. So thank you guys for helping spread the word.
So
The
just
comments were
one
really
little,
good.
And the comments were really good.
one little observation about the approach at the meeting. I understand we had people that had an attention span that we had to consider. So the presentation focused on the action items, but only on a few action items. So it seemed like we were getting that feedback from the audience about why are these being presented and those are not. And I understand it's tough because they were, I guess, considered low priority, which we're gonna discuss
Yeah.
priorities in a minute.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting to hear the feedback about what was presented. I think we were just unfortunately missing the feedback we would have heard if we showed different action items. We probably would have heard different comments, or if we had the ability to show all the action items so we could get, reactions from all those. And I suppose some people did some follow-up, but I think we probably missed some comments.
Well, we're not gonna have a 5-hour-long meeting where we go through every individual goal, and that's kind of what these open space committee meetings are for. So if people wanna get into every single goal, I'd invite them to attend these meetings. That was really just more so to give people a taste of the type of stuff to give them an idea of the type of goals that are in the open space plan. Really meant to encourage people to look at it either before or after the meeting, dive in on your own. So it's yeah. But I don't know if you guys want to start diving into some of these possible edits. So we have 26 of them, which isn't so bad. I'll go through each one by one and just see if you guys are in agreement with them. If that works, Mr. Chair?
Sure.
So the first one is, we heard this a few times on the executive summary on page 7. Just to flip around how it's presented, that this is more so to be presented as a blueprint with the secondary benefit of the keeping eligible for state grants. So we're just gonna switch that language around. Everyone good with that? On page 22, we heard comments that people weren't comfortable with some of this language. I think this is one that we actually had presented to you guys in the past to see if you guys wanted to remove it. But I think you guys had asked to keep it in, but now that we have some additional pushback, we were gonna suggest removing this language on page 22. Essential strategy is to promote compact mixed-use infill development that complements Barnstable's historic village, It goes on about that, about, activity nodes and I mean, if you want the strategy for the town's land use, you should look at the local comprehensive plan. This isn't really meant to be going into that in the open space plan, so just figured we'd just remove it to eliminate any angst people had over that language.
So we feel comfortable it's covered in the LCP.
Does that language appear in the local comprehensive plan?
Not this language specifically, I'd say we say it in different and maybe more articulate ways. Certain language people don't like, activity nodes, some people think that means something else. We renamed them differently. I just don't think, personally, I don't think we should get into this in the open space and recreation plan. It's not really the spot for it.
Yeah.
And we've heard people had issues with it, so why not just remove it?
They prefer suburban sprawl then.
I'm not gonna get into that.
That's basically what we have right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But
Okay,
again, that's covered in the LCP,
Yeah.
so we'll
Yeah.
just go ahead and
And the name
remove
of our committee's open space.
that. There was the third one, there was comments just to add some mention of the impaired bodies in town, as that's always a moving target based off of new data coming in on a monthly basis. Figured it'd be better just to reference the APC's cyanobacteria monitoring webpage, so people can be aware of the ongoing, we wouldn't be able to say Levels Pond is impaired when it's only impaired for part of the year based off of the readings and so I just figured it'd be better just to steer people towards the APCC cyanobacteria monitoring webpage.
in the online version, would that appear as a live
Yep.
link?
Yep, that'd be the
That's
idea.
Yeah.
And similarly on the same page, we would just add mention of the Cape Cod Commission's coastal floodplain data viewer. It serves as a resource for information on potential future flooding and flood hazard areas. That was a comment from the Cape Cod Commission that we might wanna include that, so figured it's useful. On page 49, we had a comment from the BLT just to add more quantitative data about the value of open space, so we were just gonna grab one of their suggested data points according to a 2023 report by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Cape Cod outdoor recreation economy generated 2.7 billion in revenue and created over 14,000 jobs.
It's impressive.
It's a lot of kayaks.
Next one would be on tables 5.3 and 5.4. The BLT just basically had a couple corrections to it based off of their properties. And then Steve Robichaud from the Community Preservation Committee has some suggestions as to how to reformat it to make it a little more readable, which I thought were good suggestions, so thought we'd run with them unless anybody had any concerns.
I have to admit, he did a robust review.
Great.
He really
Good
did,
job.
yeah.
Clearly took his time. Now moving on to the action plan. This was also from Steve on the first one, they develop a policy across town entities with a defined criteria to evaluate and prioritize acquisition of private land for conservation restriction. He suggested adding our last bullet, which is in terms of the criteria to be taken into consideration, opportunities to enhance public access and remove barriers to accessibility. We thought that should be added to the top of the list because it's important.
So are we at action plan goal 1.1?
Yep.
Okay, no, that's fine. Yeah. Fine.
Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
All right, at the end of goal 1, which again, the goal is protect and maintain the maximum feasible amount of open space to enhance environmental quality, expand recreation opportunities, and preserve community character. We had a suggestion to add the objective 1.5, require all town-owned land purchased for and used for conservation or recreation to be protected with a conservation restriction. Which I'd say, is probably town policy now, but just to kind of put it in writing, that was a suggestion from the BLT. All right, moving along, so we had a suggestion to add an objective into goal 2, which again, goal 2 is promote policy and regulatory measures to protect open space. So this would be amend the regulatory agreement process to require donation of public open space either through on-site accommodation or transfer of development rights agreement. So the regulatory agreement process is if a project doesn't meet the underlying zoning, developers can petition the town for a regulatory agreement, which would basically be the town looks at it to, does this provide enough community benefit for us to basically agree that it could be done outside the local zoning? So we could, as a part of this plan, suggest to town council that process should be amended to require the donation of open space if we're gonna consider a project basically outside of the normal scope of zoning.
Yes.
If I may, Kyle, I know that some development right agreements ask for cash instead. So how does this dovetail with that?
So the details would have to be, basically, you'd have to probably hire a consultant to look into this and figure out exactly how that could be done. I'm not sure exactly how that would work at this time. But it could be that somebody would purchase another property and, take it off of, undevelop it and make it open space as opposed to on-site.
But if it's in writing, then it's documented that that's the desired path.
Right. Okay, moving on to objective 3.2, which right now reads pursue coordinated efforts to eliminate roadside litter through public education, village-based initiatives, and partnership with business and tourism organizations. We just had a comment to make it a little more, specific. So pursue efforts to eliminate litter in open space areas through partnerships with businesses and nonprofit organizations, such as an adopt a trail or adopt a conservation area program. Just kind of gives it more of a specific idea to it.
How about adding community cleanups? I know that villages around Earth Day have those things.
Yeah, do the beach cleanups.
But it's not necessarily an agency, it might be just a civic association.
Yeah, we do have that actually in 3.1, hold inclusive volunteer cleanup and stewardship events.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Next one
Yeah.
is objective 4.2, which is about providing maintenance on ancient ways. So this was specifically from the CPC chairman, who also wanted to add in and seek to reestablish any ancient ways with public access rights, because he noted CPC monies could go to that if you're reestablishing one as opposed to.
That's a great,
Yeah, I like that.
how about adding to that wastewater? Some of those.
That was somewhere deeper.
Yeah, we got
that was
wastewater.
Deeper down, yeah.
Because some of them have been obscured or
Yeah.
assumed by a neighbor.
Right.
So next one, objective 5.2, which right now reads upgrade golf courses, facilities, and enhance environmental practices to support habitat and wildlife. So this is just making it a little more specific to say enhance environmental practices at town golf courses to support habitat and wildlife through sustainable water use, habitat restoration efforts, and planting of drought-resistant native vegetation and reduced chemical application.
Well, who's gonna be in charge of doing that?
So yeah, that'd be ultimately the community services department that maintains the golf courses. So this goal would basically tell them this is what the public wants in terms of open space.
Can you put eliminate chemical
They pretty much have
instead
in the
of,
town courses.
instead of reduce?
But that's under the town manager's direction. It's not necessarily.
Yeah, the language I pulled with reduced was I took that from another golf courses trying to do something like this. I'm not sure if it is possible to completely eliminate it when you're fertilizing a golf course. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is.
So.
Pretty close.
It is,
And a support.
Yeah.
it is.
Um,
But since this is aspirational, why can't we say eliminate? I mean, we're not making regulations, but we're,
Shoot for the moon.
yeah,
eliminate instead of
Yeah.
reduced.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm tired of all this namby-pamby
All
language
right, noted.
everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, so objective 6.4, right now it says create new walking loops, trails around the Barnstable Community Center to provide outdoor recreation opportunities for seniors. So we just had a suggestion to make this a little broader, basically in case the walking trail project turns out to not be feasible. So create more outdoor recreation activities for seniors at the Barnstable Adult Community Center sites such as bocce courts, shuffleboards, or lawn bowling. No comments? Good on that one?
So
Alright.
is that in lieu of the walking trail?
Yeah, I mean, we could add also walking trails too.
Yeah, I
As
did
another
discuss
example.
it with Lindsay Council. He said it's a lot of wet area behind.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, he had,
It also looks like there's a bit of municipal land just to the east.
Yeah.
And maybe a walking loop around the pond if it were at the topographic lines that are above the wet area. But it might end up being partly on school property, partly on conservation land, partly on senior center land, which shouldn't mean you can't do it, but.
so we'll keep the mention of walking trails, but just add those other.
Or it could be a very short walking trail.
There is a multi-use path in front of the
Yeah.
senior
I
center.
think this was to have a wood in the forest experience among the trees. So there's a bunch of trees behind the senior center.
Right.
It's just that I don't know how the topography
Yeah.
is suited for
There's a pond.
having a walking trail.
There's been a partial path forever that was student generated
Okay,
for
maybe
for
that's a
other
great
purposes, but
student project.
we used to go down there all the time. We could get all the way around, but it is wet kind of on the east side. And
Dave,
then
you're
the-
talking with your students.
Yeah, exactly.
When you were a student.
Yeah,
Not
right.
when I was.
So we'll leave in mention of the walking trails, but just
Yeah.
add in those other things as well to make. it
Might end
little
up with a
broader.
boardwalk,
That would be
it'd be
nice.
incredible.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
So the next one is about objective 6.10, which right now reads identify location for multi-use passive recreation field in downtown Hyannis. Which this would be amended to say identify location for new passive recreation field in downtown Hyannis and or seek upgrades at the field located at 116 High School Road, which is the field behind the old St. John's Paul School. It was a 5th grade school when I was there for a hot minute.
So I'm not sure why we need the word passive for a recreation field? That sounds very slow-moving. Nobody run.
I think passive as in like anybody can come use it at any time, you don't have to reserve it to be able to use it.
Motorcycle.
You know?
That's what they mean by passive means like I can just bring my kid on a Saturday and go, you know, use the
Is this where
field.
the baseball field is now?
It's next to the baseball, like the McKean Park, the Highness
Yeah.
Harbor Hawks, it's next to that. There used to be, I think there used to be a football field, it's very wet, so it's not really an inviting place now to play, cause it's like, it's swampland.
Yeah.
It always has been.
Well, to
We
get,
would have
Probably
to find out
protected
if it's
wetland.
school property designated for schools, because schools, you can't even, I can't bring my granddaughter who's 4 to Centerville Elementary when it's in session,
Right.
because they don't want strange people
Right.
wandering around school
I
property.
do believe that property is owned by the town as opposed to the school department. But good point, that, we heard that loud and clear throughout the public outreach.
Yeah.
More recreational opportunities that aren't on schools that are gonna be closed.
Because
for
was it
most of
just
time.
the building, the physical building that was sold to the diocese? And not the land bond?
I am not sure, I just know that I was looking at this and I looked it up on the GIS map, and when you click it, it says that the owner's down in Barnstable.
Oh, okay, yeah.
so to your point, I think if you could even just say what you just said, because the word passive doesn't mean much to the public. But if you said open to the public,
Okay.
then anyone reading the plan would say, oh, great, I can go and use this facility. And it doesn't have to be restricted by school hours or,
Alright,
Yeah.
we will amend.
Public access?
Alright, this next objective, I swear did not come from me as somebody who grew up on Lovell's Pond, but objective, this would be to add into objective 6.13 is restore Lovell's Beach and Katuitt through environmentally sensitive vegetation management as a recreation asset to residents. This came from Mr. Council, CPC Chair. He just noted it used to be and I can tell you growing up there, it used to be a beach that was lifeguarded and was a place that people wanted to go to, and now it's been overgrown and they have algae, blooms every summer, so basically just something to advocate for doing something at that beach. I don't know what this committee feels about that.
I think probably you have to restore the pond too.
Well, that's.
Yeah.
This is about the beach and about the cause I don't know if you've been down there, it is
I have, yeah.
overgrown and
But if people can't go in the water because it's contaminated. That-
maybe that could be part of
We may
the
not-
aspiration is
Yeah, oh, I would say,
to restore the pond somehow, I don't know.
maybe we should add that in number 15.
As a partner with that, yeah. Both
Yeah.
parts should be.
alright, yeah, about the water quality too. I'll add
Or,
something on there.
what do we have, 163 ponds now in Barnstable? Do we start with levels and then go through all of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point, cause I think that would be the case for all the
Yeah.
ponds.
Yeah.
This was really specifically about like the recreational asset of
Yeah,
Lovell's
yeah.
Beach. It wasn't
So
so
that's-
much about, but to your point, nobody's gonna wanna use it if it's,
You can't swim
but
with.
this was about more so, again, the recreational asset
Yeah.
as opposed to the natural resource.
Would it be a playground as opposed to a beach? Cause isn't there a playground over at the park in ballpark?
We do have a goal somewhere in here about playground at Katuitt, having so that's, I think that's already covered.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad idea, I just think if the pond, if someone's gonna die going in the pond.
Which I don't think is the case for the public record. So what do we feel about that one, just in general, what's the
Yeah,
consensus?
no,
Leave it in?
yeah, leave it
Okay.
in.
Alright, another one to add would be install new outdoor basketball courts in locations that are easily accessible by the public, not on school grounds, same language we used for the other one. So this one again came from the CPC noting the need for new outdoor basketball courts.
Would that be at the Hyannis Youth and Community Center, is that what you were thinking?
It could be,
Cause don't those need some work?
Oh yeah, they've been talking about the need for an outdoor basketball court and soccer cage there.
Yeah, no, I think but they look run down when I walk down there.
I don't even think do they have outdoor basketball
They
courts
kind
now?
of, but what's left of them?
Yeah,
That's
that was used to be on the school probably, yeah. Next one, 7.4, this would be to add another one. This one came from the BLT, which I thought was a good suggestion. So this is for goal 7 about agriculture. So this would be promote measures to protect agricultural land and perpetuity, such as developing educational materials on the Agricultural Preservation Restriction Program, which is something that I looked into when they sent it to me. It just sounded like a good program that helps incentivize landowners who have it, have a farm or something right now, keep it as that, but get compensation back for it.
Yes.
That's 61A, isn't it, the agricultural land?
Yeah, I don't know what
Or
the,
61B.
No, that's recreation.
That's recreation.
Sounds like a different plan,
It does sound a little
Yeah.
bit.
because it sounds like it's permanent, whereas 61A and B
Oh,
are
our
tax,
Transaction.
tax
Yeah,
for.
this is, I would infer that it's making agricultural land that has been, keeping it to be,
yes,
Yeah.
putting
it is.
that
Definitely.
So the next one was amending objective 8.8, which now reads explore stricter regulations for violators of outdoor water use restrictions. We got a lot of comments as to like why this was in the open space plan. So just to make it, I don't know, a little more specific, this was from, again, Lindsay Council, suggested to change it to encourage water districts to explore graduated billing rates that charge higher rates to higher water users, such as was established by the Katuah Water District.
Yes.
Does that capture what we're trying to get
That
across?
sounds good.
To add another objective, this actually came from Councilor Clark, for 8.9, explore opportunities to acquire open space along the Hyannis waterfront in order to provide more public access and support the working waterfront.
Yes.
This next one came from Chris Nappy, who sent you a comment about the bog, I forget what it was, a specific bog in Katuah.
Yeah, wait, Jenna, you have that, you sent it in the notes.
The public comment?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the public
It's up
comment.
there.
So this one would be explore opportunities to acquire cranberry bogs in key locations in order to implement nitrogen reduction efforts for neighboring water resources.
So just to be clear, is it acquiring working bogs and continue to use them as working bogs to affect this change, or just to protect the land from development that was a bog?
I think neither. The town certainly wouldn't be running the bogs. I don't know if you wanna bring up, Jenna, the comment from Chris Nappy.
Do you know, actually, the town of Yarmouth does. The bogs on West Yarmouth Road are leased out. Then they can,
It's about Savory Bog and Katuah.
yeah.
Well, you just said that it could play an important role in nitrogen reduction for Santuit ponds. So I'm not sure exactly what he had in mind for how that would be done.
I think it would be the bog and surrounding land. You know, the upland surrounding the bog,
Sure.
wouldn't it,
Well, I mean, there's advantages besides just the ones that are mentioned here. Also, you then provide
recreation?
a recreational trail option and people to walk around the bog, which we all know is very attractive. Which may be, I don't know, that'd be included in this
We can add that.
objective, or it goes in two different places, but
This was under goal 8, which is about coordinating open space efforts with protecting water bodies. So it's specifically about trying to acquire cranberry bogs for, like you noted, for nitrogen reduction.
So the trend has been for some of the bogs to be restored so that they slow down the water, so the vegetation can uptake the nitrogen, and it cleans water.
Yeah,
But-
as a wetland,
It's-
like
As a wet-
Nash
yeah.
T and
As a
Harwich.
reconstructed wetland.
Yeah,
that they
Harwich
did.
has done some excellent ones.
Yeah,
And they're working on that in Marston's Mills.
Yeah, correct,
yeah.
Yeah, I can't really think of how to change the wording to say what you all are saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
right, cause it's making it sound like just any old bog, but it's taking.
So it'd be
some more-
explore opportunities to acquire cranberry bogs to be restored as wetlands, would that say it better?
Yes, but it's not just the bog itself, it's the surrounding upland. It's a whole system, ecological system.
What does it say now? Can you read it again, please?
So this would be a new objective, it doesn't say anything out,
Sorry.
but as written, it's explore opportunities to acquire cranberry bogs in key locations in order to implement nitrogen reduction efforts for neighboring water resources.
Yeah.
That covers it.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
doesn't have to be restored.
come all the way back around, alright.
Yeah.
Just had to reread it.
Alright, so moving on to 10.3. Right now, it reads, inventory and analyze boat ramps and parking areas with nature-based solutions and stormwater best management practices to protect ponds and estuaries and incorporate ADA compliant dock and ramp upgrades. So the Cape Cod Commission, I believe, was the one who suggested it just be reworded a little bit differently to make a little more sense. Inventory and analyze boat ramps and parking areas for retrofits that include nature-based solutions and stormwater best management practices to protect ponds, estuaries, and incorporate ADA compliant. So basically just saying that we're going to inventory and analyze them with the eye of, looking to do upgrades on them. That's the retrofits part.
Yeah.
Not to slow you down, Kyle, but I know that for a couple of years now, there has been, the DPW has looked at restoring the Scudder Lane ramp, and they've paused because of the ADA compliance. And what I've heard is people are saying, okay, we understand that we want to accommodate the people with disabilities. On the other hand, how are you gonna put a wheelchair through wet sand? Once at low tide, so it's the aspiration and the delivery are disjointed. So, sorry, just to throw that out there.
It's on a slope also.
He breaks on that wheelchair.
So this next one, 11.2, was just adding in the Lost Ancient Ways mentioned. So conduct research regarding public access rights at key connecting locations and lost ancient ways in order to complete trail connections, including for the Cape Cod Pathways program.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yes.
11.3, again from Mr. Council, just to recommend that this specifically state the Cape Cod Rail Trail Phase 4 project. So continue planning and design for connection to the regional bikeway network through the Cape Cod Rail Trail Phase 4 project into Sandwich. Just makes it a little easier to understand exactly what we're talking about.
I think we also need to add connection between the Hyannis Transportation Center and the Cape Cod Rail Trail. It's kind of absurd to me to build a giant transportation center and then not have a connection for people to, that rail trail carries probably at this point in excess of 500,000 people a year. And I had feedback from the bike zone when I went to get my bike tire fixed that they're getting more than 10 people a day coming on the bus or on the train and coming and renting a bike, and they want to know where they can bike in Hyannis. Isn't that something, who would have
Yeah.
known?
So we'll add that mention of a connection between the Hyannis Transportation Center and the Cape Cod Rail Trail.
Yes, please.
Sounds good. Next one, adding in an objective 13.3. So this we heard from specifically the West Barnstable Fire Chief about just public safety in the trail areas and being able to have people know where they are in the trails. So then I talked to GIS, and they actually are continually, when they have time, they send a technician out there with some sort of technology, and he goes out there and he actually walks the trails, and he maps it.
Yeah.
So this goal is just to continue working on mapping trails and conservation areas to inform public safety efforts and add waypoints where appropriate.
So the word waypoints might be a better word than waypoints.
Wayfinding.
We're talking about some type of indication, like signage.
Talking about like the literal waypoints that are at the West Barnstable conservation area. They call them waypoints, and they have
So
them on
those
maps.
things that are metal on the trees that say W4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can call them whatever you want.
No, that's fine. I think having trail name signage will help people really know where they're going. Because right now you'll see a point on a tree and you'll say, okay, I'm at W4. And if I'm a emergency responder and I need to get to somebody on this other trail over here, if you knew that this trail goes from here to here, it's like street signs.
Yeah.
You follow this street, I'm on such and such street. You know, nobody's gonna go down and look for whatever the little sign is, you know, W4 or whatever, unless they're really
So maybe it
conscientious.
could read add waypoints and or trail signage where appropriate.
Yeah, trail signage.
Okay, no problem. Next one, 14.8, this one again came from the Cape Cod Commission, develop strategies to distribute the Cape Cod Commission's Cape Cod Freshwater Buffer Guide to property owners abutting water bodies to encourage best practices for environmentally friendly property maintenance.
That's instead of developing educational materials?
That is instead of, yes, because basically they have already been developed, so we just need to distribute them.
I see.
And then lastly, we were recommending taking out 14.12, which reads compile and organize open space and recreation resources on the town website in a user-friendly format, because we already have develop a comprehensive user-friendly web portal and printed maps showing all spaces, amenities, rules, accessibility features, and update them manually. So we basically already have that covered.
Makes sense.
So we can eliminate one objective, make it that much more concise, because we did just add a bunch of them.
Okay.
Okay,
I just have a few little
Yep.
comments here. 1.2, have the word coordinate, which is, maybe a better word would be update or create. I guess, it just makes a little more sense.
Yeah, update probably, because this is we're gonna have the inventory updated after this plan.
Right.
So it's really about updating it ahead of the next plan, so we can
Right.
change it to update.
So, looking at the timeframes,
Yep.
in some cases, I'm just wondering a little bit, maybe just going through, 1.3, we've got the 3 X's out in years 8, 9, 10. Seems like that's something that could come sooner, in the sooner timeframe.
Sure.
Because that's gonna really inform a lot of, you know, what we do and help people out. 1.4, develop a policy. It seems like there's just a random set of X's there. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, we're taking, so let me just start before we get into this. This was our, attempt at making some edits to the priorities, the responsible parties, and the timeframe.
Yep.
Where you see the crosses and the X's, that's us, that's a suggested edit.
Uh-huh.
So for 1.4, we knew we wanna do this in the next 2 years, so
Okay,
right now it says
that's
next
good.
2 years.
All right,
So where you see the red of the priorities, I think we only left a couple lows, but a lot of the lows we bumped up to medium or high. So, yeah,
all
feel free to
right.
go through and.
Cause I'm looking at maybe an earlier edition here. Like 2.2, seems like that doesn't have to be the whole time, but somewhere.
Yeah, we had
It
a
just,
first
it just gets created at some point. It doesn't get created all 10 years, it seems.
Yeah, we have that for the first 3.
Goal 3.1 seems like that could be every year. Mine was missing X's at the end,
Okay,
right, cause we couldn't have cleanup every year. We're always gonna need it. 4.2, that kinda seems like an all years thing. Providing maintenance, or we change the words a little
Yep.
bit. I guess 6.11, the Calmus Beach walking trail, I think we can get that done, at least part of that, in year 2 or 3 or 4. And 8.2, the protecting town-owned land at Joshua's and Micah's. Maybe they could move up into the middle years
Yep,
to,
we have it for right now 2 through 4.
okay, then that sounds good.
Alright,
And then 8.7, maybe that could be brought into the middle years,
yep,
creating pathways on watershed land. And I think that's, jump, down to 14.9. I think that's coming much sooner. That's the signage, trailhead signage, that's actually
yep.
happening now.
Do it in the first 2.
You could bring it way up. And then 1411, it just has the last 3 years, mailings to residents, information about open space. Maybe that could be periodic every 3 years or 2
Okay.
years or something. I don't know if you want to do a mailing every year, but
Do you think it's worth asking the town manager if that can be on the backside of the town census that goes out every
yeah, save some
time?
postage.
It might be too late almost for this year. I don't know if
But at
there's
least
something
next year,
planned. But I can put in a request.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
14.12, I think that's one you said that was being
Yeah,
duplicated.
yep,
So we don't need it. And then 1413 is the walk library. I think we're gonna try to work on that sooner.
okay, 1 through 3 then?
Like say, 2 through 4.
2 through 4.
I mean, we're gonna start working on it, in this year.
Right.
Cause it's been kind of neglected.
Excellent.
And then the question about priorities and low priorities, and we've heard the statement that if it's a low priority, it's a kiss of death. If we have to have priorities, I'd say all these could be priorities, and then they'll just be addressed as feasibility and timing and funding
Right.
allow.
Yep.
So if you could leave the priorities off, I'm perfectly fine with that.
You do need to have.
If you need to have priorities, instead of calling high, medium, low, can they be priority 1, 2, 3? So they're all still priorities. We just say, this is a priority 3, or priority 2. So when we're referencing it and talking to people, they'll say, yes, it is a priority.
We can.
When you say to somebody, it's a low priority, they kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't that a
Good
format required by the state?
Yeah, I mean, we might be able to do 1, 2, and 3. I'll have to check with the consultant because yes, they do say in the workbook it needs to be prioritized. And I think they say high, medium, and low, but I will double check. If we can do 1, 2, and 3, we will.
Yeah, it's just a
Doesn't sound
compromise.
It's not
Kyle, I think
bad.
it would be good feedback for the state to hear that
Yeah.
this is not as effective as they're dictating us to do.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a very valid
Yeah,
point.
I mean, that came up a lot at the meeting.
Yeah,
People
and
were angry.
it's like, oh,
And us.
and it's like, well, we have to do it because the state says so. Well, maybe we need to talk to our state legislators and say, hey, lean on the staff a little bit, because I think what they intend isn't what the reality is.
We only have a few lows left. So most of them are bumped up to medium or highs, like I said.
So I have another,
But if you say everything's a high priority, then
No.
I mean, we could make everyone feel better, but that doesn't really.
but I like the
It's not
1,
really
2,
that
3, and then have a key.
Okay, yeah, I'll ask the consultant about that, yeah.
Well, it was also how long it would take to implement
Right.
because there might be land acquisition, there may be funding issues.
And the fact is, if it's in the plan, it is a priority of some sort, so like, it's not, if we put it in the plan and we say low priority, that doesn't mean we don't think it's worth doing. It's
been-
quite the opposite,
It's been
actually.
vetted
Yeah.
and
That's what the public thinks.
Now, I'm bringing up something that's not here, but to consider. I heard Steve Robichaux in this aspirational plan suggest that we have an annual come-together meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you want to shoehorn that in there? Because I think that
Yeah,
Yeah.
so is it
I
like
mean-
to see what we've achieved and what we still need to do?
But
kinda
coming
meeting?
together, the water districts with the
Okay.
BLT and
I think it's a great idea.
Audubon or all the, or in the
Stakeholder.
public.
Of course, it just
Yeah,
remains a
yeah.
piece of paper that people.
Yeah, but it's just here's our status, and
Yeah.
what do you think?
Like an open space summit.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
But if it's spearheaded by the town,
Open space.
then we have to reserve the room, get the AV people, it's a coming together of resources. It's not gonna be an easy thing.
We could have it in
And then what kind of, what size audience are we expecting? I mean, if we have it, like the open space meeting is having it here at the hearing room, too small of a room.
That would be a good idea is to have an annual presentation to the public.
But that's Steve Robichaux's idea.
So we do have,
But they have it at
So,
the high school.
I like that.
we do have a couple, maybe not specifically what you're saying, but in the plan, coordinate implementation through the planning and development department, engaging municipal department boards and private stakeholder groups in developing annual action plans and reporting progress.
Huh.
And we also have coordinated annual review of the open space plan by the open space committee to review and report on progress of action plan.
Okay.
So this is gonna probably
What
have
rating
a
did
pretty
it get?
heavy staff requirement to do these things, so we have to ask Kyle, do you like to do something like that every year,
I'm
every
just
other
gonna
year?
delegate to Jenna, so no
Yeah.
problem.
Well, anyways.
Yeah. I'm going on vacation.
Since
If
it
it's
is
here-
important,
If it's held at town hall, it's less of a lift if you.
It's not that big of a lift to do something like that.
Okay,
okay,
thank you, Kyle.
But it's
I just wanna make sure that we heard Steve put a lot of time and effort and
Yeah.
I said, oh, good idea. I remember thinking that was an aspirational element in a past plan that never got traction. I think it was more bringing together all the water districts, which means they'd have to post a meeting because they're gonna trip a quorum, things like that.
I did have a couple little items in the body of the plan, the
Yep.
unique features map. I don't know, it'd be easy to look at it here, but, we've got some scenic vistas.
Right.
There's probably more scenic vistas in town. It'd be nice if we included them, if we,
The problem with that is, I don't know if that's like a GIS layer, because they're pulling from GIS layers, so if we
Yeah.
start pulling in just like the scenic vista that you had on,
which they
West
got.
Barnstable, they put that in there.
Yep,
Yeah.
Really, we should be including all the scenic vistas then,
Yeah.
and it's like, why aren't you including that one, and the answer is like, well, we don't know of all
Well,
of those.
I think, isn't that something that you apply to the state for, to get the recognition? Like
you might be
the
thinking
Great
of-
Marsh and I think
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
considered a scenic, like there's a registry kind of thing. And I think it's through the state.
I was thinking these were
My road.
destinations that
Commerce
people visiting our
No, I think it's a
properties
state Disney.
would be venturing out to. For instance,
That's,
there's an overlook deck on, I guess it's Orenda in the Great Marsh off of 6A.
Yes.
There's a, I would consider that a vista
right,
destination because they built a deck looking out over the marsh.
That's Mass
It's not
Audubon.
town land, but,
No, it's Mass Audubon.
what?
I'm sorry, Mass Audubon.
Mass Audubon across from BWB. The little Audubon sanctuary
Oh.
that's,
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
but-
the Great Marsh Trail.
Yeah,
isn't it?
there's a
yeah,
trail
but
in
it has
there.
a
But the
boardwalk.
Pilgrim
Right, but this is
property
West Barnstable.
behind the BLT office.
Oh, yeah.
They have an observation
Yeah,
deck.
oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's another
There's a
example
heron
that
rookery there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
we include those entities on our map. We kind of do on other maps, but would we wanna have the destinations
Specific.
specifically called out? That's a question. And then there is one adjustment, the Mystic Lake Vista appears to be on Middle Pond. If you look at the little, point on the map, so,
Is BLT driving that a little bit because of
Hmm?
BLT acquired some property over, I think.
well,
are
they
on
I mean,
Middle
they have Fuller Farm and they have
Right.
Wheeler Holly, and that's all over on Middle Pond.
Yeah,
And then kind of connects to this area, but the icon says Mystic Lake, and it looks like binoculars. So
Okay.
should it say Middle Pond, or do you want to recognize the great views of Mystic Lake, which are also very nice?
right.
There's no observation deck, but there is, kind of a trail along the lake that you can look out over the water. So, I don't know how much time we have to visit this issue. You're getting ready to go to press soon?
I mean, you guys can keep working on it. We're not probably gonna be bringing it to town council for a few months or a couple months, cause we're gonna have to go through a few different other committees first. We don't wanna put it off for that long, but if you
Okay.
guys want to, delegate a subgroup to look into this and get back to us, maybe by, early on in the beginning of the new
You
year.
guys wanna
early
just send me a
January.
list of places that you know are scenic vistas?
Right. Well, I'm just saying BLT might have that out in their plan. Maybe they're gonna build one since they do have a trail system
Well,
going on.
and then the scenic vista thing is, it's kind of a nebulous, it's like,
Yeah,
I drive into Lake Waquaket and you can sit at the parking lot. It's
yeah,
a beautiful vista in the
Right.
morning.
Yeah.
You can drive into any parking lot, and I think one of the things that has a lot of ADA things that go with it too, it's, if you start
Yeah,
looking at that.
that's true.
And most of the state things that you see up on the roads, little brown signs with binoculars on them, are things that anyone can kind of walk a little trail to and see the pond, see the beaver dam. So then it becomes how many little binoculars do we put on the page?
Yeah, and how accessible they are.
I know, cause even like going back to that property, in the Great Marsh, you can't, that's not really that accessible. I mean, in a wheelchair, I don't think so.
No.
There's old bricks in the path.
Oh, oh,
We
okay,
can
yeah.
smooth it out.
I guess
You're
that's
talking
the
about
second
old
part of the
brick
question
factory,
is,
what's
do they
left
need
of
to
it?
also
Yeah,
be
you could
accessible?
cross over the
Right,
tracks to
right.
get to
Because the
that.
ones here, at least in West Barnstable, I'd say that'd be very challenging,
Yeah,
for ADA
Right,
purposes.
right.
I would just say this subject's like totally up to you guys, or, make it on your own, but I would just avoid trying to open up Pandora's box where you're now
Yeah,
like,
I
oh
I
god,
know.
we didn't include these or these, this isn't really consistent. They would just caution you
That's
against that.
not real
Yeah.
accessible.
It is one thing if you're advertising traffic on property the town doesn't own.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
Be very
Yeah.
careful about that. It's a good point.
liability
Yeah,
issues.
right. Okay, well, I'd be happy to take your ideas and maybe at our next meeting,
When's
which
your
is not too late in January. Maybe it wouldn't be too late to kind
Yeah, I think that's
of
fine.
button this up one way or another. So put our thinking hats on if we come up with stuff. Page 70 in the plan. I just want to give recognition that is due to Lindsay Council. The Centerville Wildlife Preserve that is managed by Arenda is named the Lindsay B. Council.
It is?
Yeah.
Right.
Lindsay B. Council Wildlife Sanctuary. The signage is right there on Great Marsh Road. If you drive slowly by it, you'll see it. So
Yeah.
they wanted to recognize him for all his efforts over
Yeah,
the years
'cause
and
he-
deservedly so. So they did create a sign on
They is
Great
them.
Marsh and another one
Brenda,
on Hayes Road. So it's an Arenda
yeah,
managed facility. So there's a nice little walking loop in there, parking for maybe one or two cars. But
So we'll update
so
that.
I'm not sure, because I've seen that Centerville Wildlife Preserve listed on the state's database too, so I don't know how that information got into the system.
I do remember that.
Somebody just made up a name, Centerville, but at least
So it's Lindsay.
according to the signage and what I was told, that's the official name, is the Lindsay Council Wildlife Sanctuary. So enjoy it.
He
Everyone-
used to play
everyone should
over
visit
there
it
as a
and
child.
Take a little walk around the loop.
Take a look.
Alright, any other comments on either the priorities or based off of any other public comment that was received? Now we'll go ahead and make these edits. The next step will be Recreation Commission, Conservation Commission, and Planning Board. Present to them for their basically vote of recommendation. Lindsay, I might ask a representative of the committee, maybe the chairman,
The email I sent.
if he's available to come along when I present to those committees, just to talk about the process, everything that's gone into it so far.
So, Kyle, I don't know if you read the Cape Cod Times, but there was a
I
great
did.
article
Yeah, I read the story, yeah.
about a facility that now Sandwich has up and running for the youth to, and you could scroll down a little bit to the article. Like, yeah. Keep going. So you can see there's several thousands of dollars of lumber and material brought in to create a riding skills area for the youth. Sandwich has an after-school mountain biking program that the New England Mountain Bike Association Cape Cod chapter has been operating from the Oak Ridge Elementary School in Sandwich. And this same concept could arrive in Barnstable at some point if there's a site that's suitable. From what I have looked at, property areas that could be suitable, one would be the Hathaway's Pond. It's a very small patch of woods and you don't really need to cut down trees, you just work around them. And the area to the east of the parking area, between the dog park and the beach, could be well suited to the use, because there's trails right there all around the pond, trails over in Old Geo Lane area, so there's a lot of synergy there between a youth riding area that could be used, you know, especially off-season. People would really enjoy that. So anyways, just wanted to let you know about that. If you already read the article, then you did great. And maybe, you know, I'll send a link to John Gleason and property manager or whatever to have that on the radar. But anyways, that's listed in the plan, and this is just to show you what we're really talking about.
Yeah.
That would also be close to Hyannis, which is meeting one of our goals to provide more recreational opportunities in Hyannis. One of the things that did come up in the public comments that I think is important is in development agreements that the town has, and you can use the seaport in Boston as an example. They require developers to provide open space within the development
Yep,
that is accessible to the public.
yep,
And the same with pass-throughs on the Boston Harbor Walk. For example, you go right through the middle of the Marriott Long Wharf on the,
Oh, sure, the walkway.
yeah. And so I think that that's one of the ways we could carve out some more recreation space as properties are developed in Hyannis, that we, that be a priority to have recreation. Particularly, I mean, if these new large-scale developments in Barnstable Village, this should be a place for children to play there. Children are living there.
So I was looking at this concept of rooftop public space, which exists in other urban areas, because as we know, the property is very expensive and hard to develop, to reserve for non-development. There's different cities, and Barnstable is kind of a city. City-like, I should say. There's a little bit of city feeling in some parts of the more busy areas. So if there was a program or a procedure or policy, I don't even know how you would get to this in, say, in Hyannis, where you have an incentive for people who have suitable rooftops that could become public space for people to get fresh air, get a view. Maybe there's some outdoor stairways, they can get up there, get a little exercise. I mean, in some of the bigger areas, they could put playgrounds or small sense of playground equipment.
Yeah.
So,
The seagulls.
I think we, we don't wanna
Yeah.
lose,
There's traffic.
lose our vision, the sky's the limit. If you're gonna build up,
Yeah.
there could be stuff on top that would be,
But see little Billy.
watch the ferries come in.
Bad actors are gonna hang.
That's a good idea.
No, I know, but think.
Actually, I read where,
The building is gonna
One
allow the
of the
public to get on
businesses
there.
in my hometown have got a grant from the state to put up a rooftop greenhouse. So
School,
that's
community garden,
Yeah.
right on
But
top.
there's Pizza
Yeah.
Barbone, they
Yeah,
raise
they
their
have
food
to
on the
grow
roof.
their
Oh, yeah,
food.
that's
Pizza
true.
Barbone.
Yeah, they grow their food on the roof.
That's cool, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do.
Their pizza's incredible, I was
Yeah.
after the boat parade.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
all right, we have to get out by 7.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you,
Right.
Kyle.
Well done.
Great job.
But
Making
that was in the
progress.
public comment about having space as part of the development.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Okay, so we have a short agenda item, maybe short? Just to talk about maintaining trailblazing. Maybe Farley, you can fill us in a little bit about what we're talking about?
Okay, well, I contacted and submitted a proposal to Brendan Williamson. He's the coordinator for the Mid-Cape AmeriCorps group. And so I haven't heard back from him. I gather this is the month where they accept all their proposals. And so we'll probably hear something, in the new year, whether our proposal's been accepted or not. But I asked if we could, review and update all the trailblazing in the pathways section of the trails. So,
That's a great idea. Thanks for being on the timing of the whole thing.
Yeah.
so we'll, I think then, whenever people have the time and opportunity to go out and look and see what needs to be done out there on the red trail and, any of the loops that come off of that, if you want, that'd be great. And then, so we'll be able to really be well informed when the time comes for us to get out there and do the trails. Then, back to your idea, or what you mentioned earlier, about having a uniform colored coded trail system.
Yeah, so I recall when Pathways was brought to this committee back in the summer, one of the statements or comments was that choosing the trailblazing colors might have more advantage if we change something, which is in long distance trails in many areas, they use white, like the Appalachian Trail and many other main trails that are the long distance routes. We in Barnstable use the red trail from Sandwich to Yarmouth, and I think there's the line work there. So whether that's something we would want to promote, maybe a change at some point to use a white blaze on our red trail, you keep both and people know that red and white is the high school colors, they're not gonna get lost. But the town of Sandwich has approached a trail advocate that has approached the mountain bike club to help update their blazing. And if they want to also buy into the same idea, maybe the white blaze would be the long distance Cape Cod Pathways blaze for the whole Cape. I know in Brewster, through the Punkhorn, they have the Cape Cod Pathways medallions, and they have I think a white in their main route. I think they're using, I don't know if they're using white blazes, but I remember they had different colors and they had white.
They have lots of colors.
Yeah, white was the long distance one, so that would be part of that whole network. So just throwing that out there as maybe that's an idea that we can start moving from red to white, if that makes sense. The other thing, just to let you know, Chris and we met with folks a couple of months ago about the pathway system and pathways alignments. And this committee has already, made updates to reflect what's on the ground out there. And that's what you see on the screen here, especially the routing through the college and that area. So Chris is going to be helping navigate the town's acceptance of the realignments based on the new information and the new routes out there. So hopefully that will come together at the same time, because then it would be great to have the AmeriCorps folks help with updating the route with the blazes along the way, so people can find their way. Anybody have anything to chime in?
The other thing I would say is where it goes on roads, that I was in Nashville and they used bronze medallions set in the sidewalk as the, you had mentioned before about in the brick sidewalks in Barnstable, and I think people in Barnstable would probably go ballistic if we painted anything on the bricks.
Like the Freedom Trail.
Yeah. I don't think they'd like that. But some type of wayfinding, I can send to other people. When I was in Philadelphia, they have directional markers to all different things, and then on the post they have a NEDA map, and there's a QR code that you scan and the map comes up.
Right.
And it was fantastic. I mean, I didn't have a map. I'm somewhere along the Schuylkill River, and there's the sign.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so anything we can do to enhance, trail finding,
Yeah.
be great.
And parking, people need to know where they can put
And
their
parking.
car.
Right, exactly, all that access and so forth.
This is a much better map though than the previous map.
Yeah, this is OpenStreetMap.
Yeah.
So anybody can access it. Okay, so just to cover our agenda, any of the old business items, property acquisition, conservation restrictions. Farley, do you have anything? I don't see Tracy,
Okay.
and I think we covered the other things.
So, and Chris, you could probably help me with this, some of this stuff has come before the council. Application received for Planning and Development Department for $4,200. And open space recreation funds for the purchase of 30 hiking trail signs to be placed at roadside trail approaches for town of Barnstable conservation trails, pending locational safety approvals.
So it's on Thursday's agenda for a first read. It's usually to let the public know this is coming, and then for a vote on January 8th. So I don't know if you want to send a letter from the committee in support of it. I don't see that it will be anything controversial, but at least it shows that you're a robust, active committee. By the way, at the last town council meeting, I'm happy to say that my colleagues found it worthy of having President Tamish continue as president and me as vice president. So liaisons assignments will be made soon, and I may not necessarily be the liaison. I can be, but I'm always a friend of this committee. I'm just saying that we have 4 new counselors, we'll see, and quite frankly, I think it's an opportunity for new counselors to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I
then-
would move that the Open Space Committee send a letter of support for the trail signs, trail signage.
That's a movement. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Okay.
Thank you.
Project updates, do you wanna issues at all. BLT's Woodland Bog application for CPA open space funds was approved on November 6th. Town council public hearing. The Mill Pond Conservation Restriction application has been scheduled for town council public hearing on November 20th. Did you
Yes.
hear it? Okay. Conservation restrictions for Harju and Prince Ave properties to be granted to BLT have been completed for local signatures and will be placed on the town council
Oh my
agenda
God.
for acceptance.
And it unanimously passed.
Whoa.
Wow.
Speechless, aren't you done?
The Prince Ave has yet to come through. Oh, no, wait, yeah, there was, no, the
I
Emerald.
think the world stops. Oh,
Okay.
how long has that been?
There was a little typo or
Glitch?
it wasn't a big deal. But it
Okay.
wasn't complete.
Okay, a plan of the conservation restriction area for 230 Old Colony Road is being created, and subsequent to planning board approval will be recorded at the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Closing for Smith Creek's conservation restriction will be scheduled once the land court provides required documents. BLT's acquisition of Katuitt Highland High Ground has taken place with a CR granted to the town of Barnstable.
Yeah.
Okay. There you have it.
A lot of action.
Yeah, a lot of action, a lot of CRs, definitely, so it's great.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.
Chris, do you have anything else?
Not really, but I'm looking at your notes. Did Walking Library ever get into that open space plan? It says,
I thought it was one of the items,
It was.
oh, okay, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I just,
so we're going to pursue that in the upcoming meetings.
Okay. All right.
Okay, public comment? Anything Polly like to share?
No, I'm just here to learn and listen for the first time.
Oh, well, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm ready to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.